All right, I told you that routing in Next.js is based on the file system. So here in the app folder, we can create a new folder called users. Now to make this publicly accessible, here we should add a page file in this folder. So page dot, now the extension can be JS, JSX, or TSX for TypeScript. In this course, we use TypeScript, so I'm going to go with TSX. Now make sure to name this file correctly, page in lowercase, because this is one of the conventions that Next.js looks for. So the routing system in Next.js is based on convention, not configuration, okay? So here we have a page file. Now in this page file, we should export a React component that will be rendered when the user is at this location, /users. Earlier, we installed a very useful extension in VS Code. With that extension, we can generate a React component using this shortcut, RAFCE. That is short for React arrow function component with an export. Now, the way I remember this is RAFCE, okay? So let's generate it, beautiful. Now here we have multiple cursors activated, so we can rename this component to something more meaningful like users page. The name we assign here, it doesn't really matter in terms of routing. This is just for better organization of our code, okay? Now let's press escape to deactivate multiple cursors. So back to the browser. Now let's go to /users, and here's our new users page, beautiful. Now, one thing you need to know about this routing system is that if we add any other files in this folder, let's say test.css, this file is not going to be accessible. So if we go to /users/test.css, look, we get this not found page. So this is how the new app router is different from the old pages router. In the pages router, if we put any files in these folders, those files would be publicly accessible. But this is not the case with the new router, okay? So let's delete this file. Now here we can also create nested routes. So inside the users folder, we can add a new folder called new. And in this folder, we add a new page file. So page.tsx. One more time, let's create a React component. And we're going to call this new user page. Good. So now we can go to users/new and see this new page. Beautiful. Now let's talk about navigation. So we're going to go back to our home page. So here we press Command and P on Mac or Control and P on Windows to look up files by their name. If we type page, we can see all our page files. So the first item is our home page. This is the one we're looking for. Now, on this page, let's add an anchor. So here we add an anchor. We set href to /users and give it a label like users. Now, there is a problem with this way of implementing navigation. Let me show you. So let's go back to our home page. All right. Now I'm going to open up DevTools. Here in the Network tab, look at all the requests sent to the server. The first one is our HTML document. The second one is a font. The third one is a CSS file. And after that, we have a bunch of JavaScript files. Now I'm going to clear this list. Look what happens when we click on the users link. Let's go back to the Network tab. Look, all these resources are re-downloaded. This is not the optimal way to implement navigation, because in a real application, we probably have a navigation bar on the top, a side panel on the left. So as the user navigates from one page to another, we don't want to reload all these repetitive parts. We only want to replace the content area, right? This is where we use the link component in Next.js. So back to our code. We're going to replace this anchor with a link component that is defined in next/link library. Okay, let's replace it here as well. Good. Now, back to our home page. Once again, I'm going to bring up the Network tab and clear this list. Now look what happens when we click on the user's link. Look, we only have 2 requests, and these requests are for downloading the content of the user's page. So we are not re-downloading a font, a CSS file, and a bunch of JavaScript files. This is what we call client-side navigation. Now, there's more to navigation. We have a comprehensive section about this topic later in the course. This was just a basic overview.